Twofold purpose. Our public forum tonight will be to review the PTCC, which is our Tourism Commission grant application. Allie Coleman and Jenny Clark and Sherry Jordan and Ricky Lewis are going to go over the grant application so that any organization that is interested in submitting an application to the Tourism Commission will know exactly what's needed, and we can get ahead of the curve on that grant application and get them in queue, if you would, so that we can begin to look at them and say, they need this. This is going to be great for Princeton and Caldwell County. Let's start allocating some funds. It's another way that kind of shapes what the community says we need here. They've already established a level of success. They've already established that there's a want. They've already established a need. And so we just come alongside them with this grant application and support them. Support the marketing with WPKY or the Times Leader or whatever they might need to promote it, so that we can reach more people and bring more people to Princeton and have a greater chance of success. So tonight, the commission will be going over this application in detail so that everyone that would be interested in applying knows what needs to be done and has the opportunity to do so.
Okay, and is there like a deadline for this?
Yes, the way that we've designed it in the interim, if you would, is we will accept grant applications year round. We will review them once a quarter and dilly out the monies that we have available. I would want to make it clear to our listeners that the commission is still unfunded to a degree. We're operating off of the transient or hotel tax money that the city has collected over the course of a lengthy period of time. So there's limited funding there, but in the event that the Community Development Investment Initiative or the restaurant tax is passed, then we can say, hey, we've got this pool of people and events, and let's go to work. Let's get them some money. And that's one of the things that we wanted to do. It wouldn't be right for me, and it wouldn't be right for you, nor would it be right for anyone on the commission to say, this is what I want, and this is where we're spending the tax money. And so this gives everyone an opportunity to share in a piece of the pie, if you would. It was a brilliant thought, and I want to say that it was Miss Sherry Jordan and Jenny Clark that came up with it. And we always had it as a part of our proposal, but it's become a very significant part of our proposal to the city council. So, and it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do. You've heard me before talk about the things that I would like to see done, and I'm sure you coming into town have seen things that they need that, or we've got that over here, so I bet it would go here. I've never wanted it to be about me. And I know that the commission doesn't want it to be about them. We want it to be about the community and drawing others here.
Absolutely, yeah, and everybody's got an idea. That's the thing, and that's the purpose of, I'm sure, these meetings is for everybody to give their ideas and to help.
It has been, yes, we want to hear. That's the second part of the public forum, is that we want to hear their ideas. Nobody wants to talk about a tax. Nobody. And so you end up going out in the community and you kind of expect to hear, is there any opposition or this, that, and the other. And I want to be honest with you, the Princeton is such a loving and warm community. I have gotten very, very, very little negative feedback on this. Most everyone has been receptive. They've been warm. They've been positive. I'm sure that there are those that don't want to deal with a restaurant tax, and I can understand that. But I think the people of our area, our community, understand that we need things, and this is a great way to go about doing it. So we want to hear their ideas. I carry a notebook with me in my truck or in the kids call it a purse. It's a satchel. It's a man thing. But I carry that, and when someone gives me an idea, I immediately go and write it down so that, we've all got different eyes, and we all see things through a different pair of glasses, and it's really been fascinating. And if I never have another opportunity to talk about this, I want to say thank you to the people of the community and their willingness to share.
Right, absolutely. Well, I mean, I think when you talk about spending more money and taxes, you know, I think you're going to get people's attention, and they're going to, I don't think it's going to take too much for people to give you their ideas when you start talking about.
Well, using their money, you know, should they choose to eat at a restaurant? Yes, we are.
And that's another thing I was thinking, the restaurant tax, and I understand the opposition, but it's also a choice. It's a choice how much you are willing to invest.
Yes.
By how much you are willing to eat out. So
were it not, I would not be here talking with you this morning. Mm-hmm. I'm conservative to the hilt, and I'm not a tax guy. But this is a usage tax, if you would, and it's a choice, and I want to be held accountable, and the commission as a whole definitely wants to be held accountable in how this money is spent. And I know that the council, the Princeton City Council, wants to make certain that there's a level of a detailed level of accountability, and that's the whole reason for the proposal. And it's wise in its premise and foundation. And so we're there. We just we want to hear what people have to say.
And I know that there was some progress made at the last council meeting.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
We were here. I'll show it to you. That Mr. Joe Duncan was kind enough. He's a local artist and great guy. Been a ton of help in this whole process. But we
show it to the camera because I think it's on.
We presented our City of Princeton logo to the city council, which was exciting to me. We haven't spent $1, and we've gotten several things done. I would want people to know that. He did this pro bono, and that's what we're going to use. We have basically given it to the city, and if they would like to use it for their different departments, we would encourage them to do so. I think the recognition, something that is recognizable and says Princeton, is desperately needed here in the community. And so this is one of the foundational elements for our marketing and advertising. We need to be recognizable. And so we think this is a great start. We also presented to the city council. We've had a couple of applications presented by way of the grant, and our first quarter was over, and so we submitted those to the council and requested that they release that amount of funding, and I'm happy to say that they have answered the call. They've been very gracious by trusting us with that money. So we're going to support the HR Ministries Summer Slam. They're I don't know if everybody saw their announcement of who they're bringing into town or not, but it's huge. It's going to be an incredible weekend of events, and then there's some signage out on I-69 that I don't know how it was damaged. But anyway, we needed to replace that, and so we used some of this money for it. So we're spending that money, or we're sharing that money right now, and we want everybody that has a need or an idea to come and share it. If we can come alongside, we'd love to do so. Really would.
All right, David. So what else have we got going on?
I got
I'm
lots
sure-
of
I
more.
know,
You
I
know
know,
that.
I know
You
you
know
do. You
that.
said I need.
And,
you said I have lots of stuff to talk about. Can we do two different visits? And I'm like, yep, we can do that.
You know, we presented, and we haven't made it public because we wanted to have one of the things in my haste, in my personality. I'm a buzzsaw, and I just run in, and so I received some counsel. You know that, hey, let's think about going about it this way, and it was wise counsel. So what we've done is present our proposal to the city council. We did that in the 1st of April, and we've asked them to simply review it. Just take a look at it and see that you're comfortable with the direction that we're going, because we want your feedback and your input. They're the ones that will eventually vote on this proposal, and I never want to alienate them. I want to make certain that we are a partner with them in all of this. So we presented this, our revised draft is what we call it, of proposal to them on the 1st of April, and it's basically the proposal that we hope they will say we can live with this plan, and we'll bring it to the floor for a vote. So we're meeting with different council members presently and getting their feedback to see, is there a need for a third revision? Is there a need to do something differently so that they can put their stamp of approval on it? And I think we've made great headway. It seems as if we're getting some positive feedback. So we're grateful for that. They're busy. Their phones ring all the stinking time. And so just to be able to have the opportunity to sit down with our council members and discuss this has been refreshing. And we've been grateful for it. So that the community knows, we've talked a lot about different projects that were presented, and we whittled them down and honed them in on how can we spend the proposed amount of tax money on projects. And one of the significant changes that we've made, and if you need to get to a break, I'll shut up.
No, we're good.
Okay.
Keep going.
Okay. Is to not knowing the amount that the tax would generate. It would be foolishness of us to say we're going to do this project, and this project, like I was planning to do. I wanted something that was specific so that people couldn't say you lied. And but the commission as a whole, with the help of numerous outside sources, has put together a proposal using percentages that will hold true regardless of if the restaurant tax passes or not. We still have percentages in place that our commission can operate with, and make certain that there are these areas that the data that we have says is desperately needed are given the amount of attention that they deserve. I'll go in, if you don't mind, and give you some of the data, some of the stuff that we've used. We've been listening to the community and taking their ideas. That's one source and a definite need. There is a CEDIC study that the University of Kentucky came in and sat down with different government groups and different leadership groups within the community, and they have put together ideas and proposals for different parts of our infrastructure. There's a SWOT study, SWOT, and basically that was a joint study on economic development within Western Kentucky. There's Igniting Voices, West Kentucky. There are there's 4 groups that have submitted proposals of what Princeton and Caldwell County, the people, say we need. So not only have we taken the ideas from different people, we have collaborated and collected all of the information. The data is here. We just had to go through it and apply it and put it as part of our proposal. So that's the route that we've gone, and it's a much wiser route, I think. I hope you feel the same way.
Well, I do. I have a question for you.
Sure.
If the restaurant tax does not get passed,
Right.
what are the alternatives to getting the funds? Do you have a plan B?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we do. We do. It's not as exciting, obviously. I am told that the transient room tax that is currently in place generates somewhere in the neighborhood of, let's say, 5 to 10,000 a year. So we still have that funding to do promotion, advertising. Now you start talking about 5,000 as opposed to 300,000. The impact would obviously be smaller. The impact would obviously be less seen, if you would. But we're committed. The commission is committed to promote Princeton because we think it's worth promoting, regardless. We're going to continue to work. We're going to continue to come alongside and do what we can to help promote tourism and economic development within the community. It's just going to be, it's a limited pool of money, basically.
Sure. And 300 is the projected possible outcome from
We've used that just because it's a little easier to calculate than the 265 or the 270,000 proposed amount. 300's a little easier to round with. That was what it was originally estimated to be based on the percentage of the tax and the proposed or submitted revenues of the 23 different submitting organizations. So, and if you get to thinking about it, Misty, that's not a ton of money. It's really not. But if we do it right, if we do this thing right, it grows. It's a snowball. If we bring more tourists to the community, they're going to eat in our restaurants and they're going to spend more money and their revenues go up. And
see, I was actually just sitting here thinking that's the exact thought that went through my head. You know, if we can get tourism bolstered in this area and get people in, then that projected possible outcome excuse me, is going to grow. I mean, it just
yes. That we're certain of the fact that I-69, the traffic there, we've already seen increases in traffic. We've already seen, the numbers increased as far as the number of cars and trucks passing through out on the highway. So we know that it's going to have a huge impact on our community. The question is, and for me at least, and I'm one of those that, guys, is Morton's Gap going to beat us to the punch and grow their exit before we grow ours. Is are other exits going to develop and start the tourism vacuum faster than we do, and therefore we kind of miss the curve? We're still going to do it. We're still going to promote our local, sites and attractions, but we want to be one of the first to draw people and give them reason to come. Princeton's got a lot to offer. Mm-hmm. They really do. Mm-hmm. That I tell the story. I told it to the kids the other day at the vocational school. Now, this is going to blow your mind. So if you want to call me a liar, you can. It's okay. This is what I was told. Big Springs Park. Have you been there? By the way, I need to take you down there one day. Drive down. But I know you have to just hook and book, but it's a cave, and it's got a creek coming out of it, and it's got a couple of. It's a really peaceful place. We want to improve it, make it better. But Big Springs Park, according to the Google data, gets 1,000 hits per day.
Wow.
Believe that.
Okay.
Guess what else? Someone that had a marketing and advertising background, and they decided to make it Big Springs Cave Park. The hits went from 1,000 to 30,000.
Jeez. People like their caves, huh?
Yes. Well, Kentucky is kind of known with Mammoth Cave there, and they can hit Mammoth Cave, and they're just wondering, could we hit Big Springs Cave, and just make a day of it or a weekend of it? So there are numerous places that we can promote here in the community, and numerous attractions. We're going to need the help of a professional at some point or another. But what I want to leave today is that we've got a gold mine. We've got a gold mine, and we want to see it developed. We want to put it on the map, and hoping that we have that opportunity. And grateful for everything that you all have done to give us the opportunity to do it. We believe that this proposal is what the council is looking for.
Okay. All right. Well, David, I sure appreciate your time this morning. Is there anything else you need to add?
I just want to add that thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for the platform that you've given us. Thank you for the people. I want to say thank you to the people in the community that have been so helpful. It'd be impossible to name them all. The ones that have come to our meetings on Mondays at 12, the ones that have come to the public forums, regardless of their stance, pro or con, thank you for getting involved in our community and the development of it. It has been so refreshing. I've been on park boards and different organizational boards in other communities, and Princeton is a fresh breath of air because people are committed, and it's a beautiful thing. So I want to thank them. I want to thank WPKY, and I want to thank you, and hope that more will come out tonight and share with us.
All right, and again, that is where, when, where, and what time?
City Hall in the Tourism Welcome Center at 6 p.m. tonight, April 22nd. Presentation of the tourism grant application and public forum.
All right, thank you so much, David Brown, Tourism Director. So glad you were here for us today, and we will definitely keep updated on all of this proposed tax and the changes that need to be put into place for Princeton. Thank you, David.
Thank you, Misty.
Serving Caldwell County since 1950. We're 1580, 103.3 WPKY.